Now, Court Matters Bill. Court Matters Bill. Section 2, Commencement. Any provision that has not earlier been brought into force under subsections 2 comes into force on 1 July 2020. So it's not law yet. Now let's look at Court Matters Bill. I'll do a little bit more of a thorough clip on that, but I'll point out what I was talking about in regards to Part 6 or Section 3 of the Court Security Bill, Court Security Act 1999. Section 3 amended. Meaning of court and courtroom. 1. In Section 3, subsection 2b, replace before the proceedings are heard and while they are being heard with before the proceedings are heard, while they are being heard, and shortly after they finished being heard. So they want to stop shortly after the proceedings as well. After Section 3.3bi, insert IA, even other parts of the buildings, including any cells that is being used for services relating to court, and 3. After Section 3.3bii, insert IIA, if the building is adjacent to a road, any footpath or other area between the building and the road, and 4. In Section 3.4a, replace subsection 5a to h with subsection 5aa to h. After Section 3.4b, insert, I know, it's gibberish, isn't it? Insert any other part of the building, including any cells that is used for services relating to judicial or quasi-judicial functions, and after Section 3.4c, insert CA, if the building is adjacent to a road, any footpath or other area between the building and the road, and 7. After Section 3.5e, insert EA, the employment court. 8. Replace Section 3.5.1 with 1. Every court, tribunal or other constituted dispute resolution body that conducts proceedings in a building that also accommodates a court or tribunal listed in subsection. And that's it. So basically they're saying any area between in any footpath, so between the road and the entrance to the court is considered part of the court area. So the bus stop outside Waitakere District Court, if you're walking along that footpath, you're in court, people. In 2020 you will be, if they don't pass that shit beforehand. Quite a shocker, this Court Matters Bill. But not only did I go through the Court Matters Bill, but seeing it's all new additions to the Court Security Act 1999, I also got the Court Security Act here too. And I would point out, especially for relevance as far as the court security officers are concerned, that none of them ever seem to have their fucking identity cards out and viewable. Section 9 of the Court Security Act. 1. Every court security officer must undergo a course of training approved by the Chief Executive before the officer may exercise any of the powers or duties in Section 12 to 23 or 26 to 28. 2. When a court security officer completes the course of training to the satisfaction of the Chief Executive must issue the officer with an identity card. 3. The identity card must A. State the court security officer's name, and B. Contain the court security officer's photograph and signature. 4. A person who ceases to be a court security officer must return the person's identity card to the Chief Executive as soon as practical after ceasing to be a court security officer. 5. A court security officer must ensure that his or her identity card is visible while he or she is exercising any of the powers or duties in Section 12 to 23 or 26 to 28. 6. The failure by a court security officer to comply with subsection 5, which is showing your ID, does not make his or her exercise of any of the powers or duties in 12 to 23 or 26 to 28 unlawful. No. But it says a security officer must ensure that his or her identity card is visible. So why aren't they? Why don't any, and I'm saying this quite literally, I have not seen in any court by any court security officer display their identity card, their photo or their signature. None of them have their identity card visible, which is a breach of subsection 5 section 9 of the Court Security Act 1999. So Chris, perhaps you want to train them a bit more about being transparent if they're going to come out just like a policeman would. I'm Constable Fuckwit from the Henderson Police, and I'd like to talk to you about this. You must identify yourself. I don't have to, but those fuckers that think they've got some authority do. So perhaps you want to re-educate them or correct their direction on that too. Bring it into line with the law, because the Court Security Act 1999 is in force and effect, and they are breaching their own rules. Not that it's a big surprise, because court security officers also have immunity, don't you? You know, just like the court staff, the court registers, anyone working in the court building as part of the Crown Court are all immune. So it doesn't matter if they fuck up a court case through an error or omission. It doesn't matter if they lose an entire 5-hour trial, because they're immune from civil prosecution. What they're not immune from is criminal prosecution. And if those CSOs want to come out and criminally harass people on the side of the street, they won't be immune from that. I may or may not pop back down to Waitakere District Court, as I'll be in the area later today. If I do, who knows? I may have cameras on me, I may not. I do actually have to go to the court to discuss a couple of private matters. I do need to go and speak to someone there, to the registrar, ask them about procedures and protocols and rules about doing particular things that I'm interested in doing in the near future. So, are the court security officer going to obstruct me or deny me entry for nothing? I think not. And if they do, God fucking help them. So, bear that in mind, Christopher. Facts, Chris. I live in a world where facts, logic, reason govern me. Belief systems, beliefs in little bits of paper, which have no force or effect on man, don't. And that's not a belief, that's a fact. Don't want to be construed as being angry, and there are lots of numbskulls out there that, you know, there's even people that are still, you know, putting their 2 bits in, calling me a fool or whatever, watching the video from 2014, 4 fucking years ago, back in November, when Neil ran onto my foot. People still call me a fool. Well, that was 4 years ago, people, and I've done a hell of a lot of research since then. Have you? Are the people there calling me fools, or the ones that are ignorant of their own fucking rights and freedoms, that like to knock others because they're keyboard warriors and sit behind their computers? 027 531 4470. If any of you trolls have a set of balls, by all means, give me a fucking call. I'm happy to hear you. I'm happy to chew you out too if you want to fucking be so bold. But, really, man, I notice I'm getting a lot more positive feedback than I do negative from the little trolls that don't understand what they're fucking talking about. You know, ignorance must be bliss. You guys just all keep your fucking heads in the sand. But if you understand what I'm doing, you might say, oh, you're going out there to pick a fight. Like fuck. I don't approach any cunt, alright? They approach me. When I'm doing something perfectly lawful and legal, and then they try to have a pissing contest. And guess what? They lose. So, if you trolls want to keep knocking me, go right ahead. As I've always said in previous videos, I can easily block, report, and be done with you that way. You know, I don't censor shit, but if you want to start insulting people or have personal attacks on me, don't attack the messenger. If you've got a problem with the facts and what I'm presenting, attack what I'm presenting. Knocking me only gives me flack, and when I'm on target, I expect flack. Take that into consideration before you put down your little keyboard warrior comments, okay? Someday I might actually collect a few of them and put yous all out on blast too. But then you might want to do that for notoriety. Who knows? I don't give a fuck either way. Philippa, Perhaps you could have emailed me instead of sicking the legal hounds onto me. You could have emailed me and told me that you're not the right person to talk to. Holly could have given me the correct information and the correct person to talk to. And I would point out that if you pricks could actually supply who the building services manager is and contact details openly and freely somewhere, I wouldn't have to ring up and be given the wrong information. If you guys were more transparent and made that information available to the general public that might need to request permission, then things might be easier. Any information I get about any of you Ministry of Justice people that are working will be going up. It's not protected, it's not private information, it is your public capacity and the way the public can contact you. If you don't like it, fuck off to the private sector, go and hide behind your closed curtains and stop bitching about people that have the right to do what they can do without being offensive. And standing with a camera, recording people in public is not fucking offensive. If it is, then the government and all of the councils and all of the other people that are recording you everywhere, outside and inside their buildings, are more offensive than I am. Alright? If people in public take offence to being recorded, go fucking somewhere private. Get over your unreasonable expectations. And as a side note, train your fucking court staff properly. I have spent some time studying sections 12 to 23 and 26 to 28 and have looked up what exactly specified offence is, because that's the only powers court security officers have in relation to specified offences, which relate to murder, assault, acid throwing, all those sorts of things. Then by all means, as I wasn't doing any of those things, then there is no specified offence, and there isn't, recording in public isn't a specified offence that they have authority to control. But again, there'll be more videos to follow in regards to that. Get educated. Bye. Have a good day.